Welcome to our channel Agri Addict. So today we'll come up with the new PYQ discussion, that is of entomology JRF 2024, and in this PYQ discussion we'll cover mostly the entomology and nematology questions, and we are opting out the general agriculture. Not only will cover the different question answers, but also will cover the related concepts that you need to cover from the exam point of view. So let me give you a brief introduction of myself. I am Saurabh Chakravarti from IRI New Delhi. I am from PhD first year in division of entomology. So let's start with the discussion. First question, that is a matching type question, column A and column B. Column A contains the different locusts and column B contains their scientific names. So before going to this question, let me talk about a little bit regarding locusts. As you know very well, locusts, they are belonging to the order Orthoptera and family is the Acrididae. Basically, they are a type of shorthorn grasshopper, you can tell, and there are different groups of locusts and different species associated with it. So the question itself comes regarding the different locusts. So here it is showing Bombay locust, brown locust, Australian locust, and Rocky Mountain locust. So it may happen in exam that you may not know all these different species of locust. You may know one or two. So just let's find out what is one and two. First, you know Bombay locust. It is a very common species. So what is it? It is the Locusta pardalina. Sorry, it is not Locusta pardalina. The brown locust, it is the Locusta pardalina. And the Bombay locust, it is actually, previously it is known as Patanga succinata. I'm writing here. Patanga was the genus initially. Now it is changed to Cyrtocantharis succinata. So the Bombay locust, it will be Cyrtocantharis succinata, and the brown locust will be Locusta pardalina. So you got A is 1 and B is 3. So B is 3. So you got your answer already. A is 1 and B is 3. So your answer will be option number D. So let's know about the other two locust species. C is 2, that is Australian locust, and Rocky Mountain locust is number 4. So likewise, there are n number of locust species available in the different parts of India and as well as different parts of the world. So you need to know what are the different locust species which are associated in the world. For that, I'll refer the entomology refresher. This book you will refer. So there you will get like near about 9 to 10 different species of the locust. So that will be helpful for your exam. Let's come to the next question. The next question comes, it's again a very good question. Small adhesive pads on the tersomeres in the cockroach is known as what? It's a basically it is a uh, normal question. So the answer will be your plantuli. So please remember the answer will be plantuli. But the thing is, there are other two different terminologies like aerolium and tibia and trochanter also. So you know about trochanter and tibia. These are the parts of legs. Trochanter is the second segment and tibia is the fourth segment. So you can literally omit these two options. What is the problem? In exam, this might come to you like you may have problem with these two options, like whether it is plantuli or whether it is aerolium. So you need to know about that. First and foremost thing that I want to tell about you about this, that plantule, if you see the term plantule, remember that it is associated with cockroach only. So it is related to cockroach, so the answer will be plantule. But let's know what are the associated term regarding plantule and what are the other associated term that covers in tersomeres as well as pretersus. So here it is, the again I am taking the example of a cockroach. So first point, the pretersus consists of a membranous base supporting the median lobe. So that median lobe is known as aroleum. So this median lobe which you are getting here is the aroleum. Okay. Now a pair of claws present just beside the aroleum, which is known as unguis. So what is the unguis? Basically, this is the claw which is present beside the aroleum. So this claw is known as unguis. Okay. This claw and also this claw are all unguis. Next, now the thing is whether there is two claws are associated. So these two claws will be uh, getting into a cement like structure, or they will be associated with a sclerite. So that sclerite is known as unguifer. That means this is the unguifer, this region. This region is known as unguifer. Okay. So it is basically the back side. It is not showing here. So it is the back side that is known as unguifer. Next, there is a ventral facial sclerotized space to which unguifer is articulated, which is known as unguitractor. That means this particular sclerite which I am telling about, uh, unguifer, so this unguifer is also articulated with another sclerite that is called unguitractor. Okay. So there is unguis, there is unguifer, and there is unguitractor. Next, between unguitractor and unguis. So here is your unguitractor and here is your unguis. There is another pair of small plates which is associated, that is called oxyle. So what is that oxyle? Here is the oxyle, small one. If I want to change color, region, or these two regions are considered as oxyle. It is singular is oxyla and plural is oxyle. Okay. So arising from each oxyla, that is singular, one membranous pad like structure are there, that is called pulvillus. Means here it is the pulvillus. You got it? This two region is known as pulvillus, or in plural it is called pulvilli. So it is the lateral pad like structure which is arising from each oxyla, called pulvillus. Now the fact is, in Diptera what it happens, in Diptera it is modified as a median bristle like structure, where here it is. This is the median bristle like structure you find in the place of aroleum. That is known as your empodium. Now another very important thing is there. In Diptera I have told it is having empodium. There is one exception. What is that exception? That exception is Hippolyidae. Hippolyidae means it contains crane fly. So in crane fly there is having aroleum. They don't have empodium, rather they have aroleum. Okay. So this is all about what are the different structure which are associated with tersomeres and preterses. Okay. So next, so the next question, Tylenculus semipenetrans, basically it's a nematode. It can be managed by using trifoliate orange. So two things are there. One is your Tylenculus semipenetrans. This Tylenculus semipenetrans, it is known as citrus nematode. Okay. So this Tylenculus semipenetrans or citrus nematode, it is managed using a trifoliate orange. Trifoliate orange, it is known as Sponcerus trifoliata. Now, the question is, what is this? What is Sponcerus trifoliata or trifoliate orange? So basically, you remember that to control any kind of nematodes in horticultural ecosystem, that may be Pratylenchus, that may be your Tylenculus semipenetrans, you need to use some resistant rootstock. Okay, so based on this concept only, we can consider that trifoliate orange is nothing but a rootstock only. Okay. Now, if you read another options, you'll find that this option, donor parent in hybrid production. So basically, when you use some different rootstock and your scion is different, so basically it may produce a hybrid plant. So it should be rootstock or either donor parent in hybrid production. So if your question comes like whether the options are A and B only, B and C only, A and C only, so you should write that it should be A and C. Both should be correct. Okay. Otherwise, if single option are there, then you should have to go with rootstock. Okay. Next question. Japan has lifted its 2-decade-old ban in 2006. Just read the question, you will get some more information. It has lifted your ban in 2020, 2006 on the import of Indian mangoes, whatever the Indian mango varieties are there, those, on the condition that the fruits are subjected to what? So basically, you know that fruits like mango, they are infested with different fruit flies. There will be fruit flies of different species like Bactocera dorsalis is there, and many other species are maybe associated with. So to manage this Bactocera and all, we need to do some management practices. Now, what happened for many years, Japan has given some restrictions regarding the import of the Indian mangoes in their country, because what happens, this Indian mangoes contain the fruit fly infections or as well as even nut weevil infection in the fruits. So they lifted this ban in 2006, that they believe that the fruits are subjected to different options are there: hot water treatment, irradiation, vapor heat treatment, and fumigation. So remember, it is the answer is vapor heat treatment. Okay. Even if you go to Google, search for what are the reasons why Japan has lifted, Japan has given those ban, and why in 2006 they have lifted this, you will find that vapor heat treatment. Basically, nothing. It is at a particular temperature for a particular time. The mangoes are given to the heat shock and a heat treatment. So this is called the vapor heat treatment. Okay. Coming to the next question again. Insect glands, which is responsible for the lubrication of mouthparts, is or are? It's a very good question. Why? Because many of you will go for salivary gland. Many of you. But the fact is, it's little bit different and little bit complicated. Why? I'm telling you. First, let us see the options: maxillary gland, pharyngeal gland, salivary gland, and mandibular gland. Okay. Now you know maxillary gland means it is associated with maxilla, right? Pharyngeal gland, it is associated with pharynx, right? Salivary gland, you know, it is associated with labium, and mandibular gland is associated with mandible, right? So let us see what are the functions of each part. Start with mandible, you know, it is associated with mastication of food, right? Next, salivary gland, you know, it is the saliva production and secretion of the saliva. Then pharyngeal gland, it is associated with pharynx, and maxillary gland. Basically, what is the function of maxilla? Maxilla helps in the lubrication of the mouth parts, and it is the sole function of the maxilla. Okay. You can tell that labium is also associated with the salivary gland, and so labium should also lubricate the mouth parts. Yes, exactly. Labium also lubricate the mouth parts. Rather, the salivary glands secretes the saliva and that also lubricate the mouth parts. But why should we go for maxillary gland then, not salivary gland? The reason is two reasons. It is a single option, a correct question, and second one is labium, that is the salivary gland. It is the main function is to lubricate the mouth parts, but there are so many other options, like so many other functions, like silk, secretion of the silk and etc etc. So for this point of view, we need to go for the best option. So the best suited option in this question is the maxillary gland, not the salivary. So the answer will be your maxillary gland. For showing, I have told you that in maxillary glands, they are not present in every insect. They are present in very few insects, like Protura, like Collembola, Heteroptera, and some larval Neuroptera. Okay, and also some Hymenoptera. So they are basically small, opening near the bases of the maxilla, and may be concerned with the lubrication of the mouth parts. Okay, so this is taken from Chapman book. Okay. So basically, the question has been made regarding that perspective, that the sole function of the maxilla or the maxillary gland is to lubricate the mouth parts. Okay. Next, again a basic question: groups with a purely functional origin in insects is called what? So you know very well. Groups means go for sulci. So the option answer is sulci. Singular is your sulcus. That is your singular. Plural is your sulci. Now, let me tell you another thing, which generally even at this stage we also forget, or we also make it some uh, wrong. We also done some mistakes regarding what is sulci and what is suture. There is some basic difference between where to use sulci and where to use suture. Basically, both this sulci and suture, they used to delimit two different sclerites. Suppose there is, Frons and Clypeus. So there is a separating groove. That separating groove is known as, say, some epistomal sulci, right? So then only you can where to use this sulci term and where to use this suture term. That is very much important. Like when there is two sclerites, I have told you, Frons and Clypeus. There is a dividing groove. So when there is a dividing group that divides two different sclerites, then only we can consider it as a sulcus, or plural is your sulci. Then where to use suture? Suture is also dividing, but when it divides two tagma or two tagmata, means the insects having three tagma. What are those tagma? Head, thorax, and abdomen, right? So, two tagma, suppose you are taking head, you are taking thorax. So, there is a particular thing which divides this head and thorax. That thing is known as your suture. Okay. So, when there is a dividing thing that divides two different mm, tagma or tagmata, then only you can consider it as a suture. And if it divides two different sclerites like Frons and Clypeus, or it is Clypeus and labrum, then only you use the term sulcus or sulci. Okay. So coming to another next question. Again, it's a statement based question, which is very much coming right nowadays when NT has taken over this exam. What is that question? plumose antenna are found in female mosquito and pilose antenna are found in male mosquito. Very basic question. You know very well that there are different types of antenna associated with the insects, and plumose and pilose are two of them. So the plumose antenna, it is actually present in which mosquito? It is present in male mosquito. Okay. And pilose antenna, it is present in female mosquito. So plumose antenna, you know very well, it is having a lots of branch of hairs, whereas pilose antenna, it is not having that much branches of hairs. So in this case, what is the correct option? Option number. That means both statements are incorrect. Okay. So to secure a good rank in PG exam or even PhD exam also, we need to make it very much correct, like this kind of question, statement based questions or the column A column B, that is matching type of question. So please focus on this type of questions more and more, so that your chances of getting a good rank and also chances of getting IRI and other good institutes is higher. Okay. So this is the different types of antenna. Just for revision, I have kept here. It is aristate antenna, you know very well where it is present. It is present in housefly. Similarly, lamellate antenna is there, serrate is there, flageolate is there, moniliform, geniculate, plumose, pilose, clavettes, statstylate, then cetaceous, pectinate, etc. Different types of antenna are there. So I refer you to go for Insecta once again and read what are the different types of antenna associated with the insect. Next, the connecting link between orthopteroid and hemipteroid insects is. So, four orders are given. So, what is the correct answer? Before going to that question, before going to that answer, we should know what is orthopteroid, what is hemipteroid. Okay, even in master batch classes, I have mentioned it many times. What is about the orthopteroid insect? So I have given some of the images over here. So see the first image, it is the hind wing, right? And just see a very common thing, that in hind wing, this is the anal region. This region is very much bigger. We call it as anal lobe. So in these groups, the anal lobe of the hind wing will be much bigger. Next, very common picture. What is that picture? That is the picture of chewing and cutting type of mouthparts. Rather, we can consider it as a mandibulate mouthparts. So, orthopteroid orders also having mandibulate mouthparts, right? Next, see this figure. This is called cerci. Okay. Now, in these orthopteroid insects, they will be having well developed cerci. Pair of cerci will be there, and there are different types of cerci. Next, number 4. What is that? These are nothing but the Malpighian tubules. So these orthopteroid insects, they will be having numerous Malpighian tubules. Like you are getting so many Malpighian tubules are associated with it. That means, like Orthoptera, you know very well that 70 to 200 up to 200 Malpighian tubules are there. Like in cockroaches, they are having 60 to 180 Malpighian tubules. So like that, numerous Malpighian tubules will be there. And the last one, they are having this ventral nerve cord and all ganglia will be present. Okay. So if these 5 characters are present, like anal lobe, well developed anal lobe, then mandibulate mouthparts, well developed cerci, well developed Malpighian tubules, that is numerous Malpighian tubules, and all the ventral nerve cord with the segmented ganglia, then we can consider it as a orthopteroid group. Okay, I'll come to this question again, but let's go for what are the orders associated with orthopteroids. No, there is Plecoptera, Gryloblatodia, Orthoptera, Phasmida, Dermaptera, Embioptera, Dictyoptera, Isoptera. These are the different orders which are associated with orthopteroid group. Now, what is hemipteroid group? They are also having some of the characters. What are the characters? Specialized mandibulate or sucking type of mouthparts. Okay, why I'm telling specialized mandibulate? Because they are also having mandibles, but the mandibles are modified into stylets. That's why it is known as specialized mandibulate, or that stylet is needed for sucking. So we can consider it as a sucking type of mouthparts. Number one. Number second, they lack large anal lobe in the hind. Whether in orthopteroid group, they are having large anal lobe. Next, lack the cerci. They are orthopteroid also having cerci, but they lack cerci in hemipteroid. Last, uh, very few Malpighian tubules. Means in case of orthopteroid, there are lots of Malpighian tubules associated. However, in case of, if you consider hemipteroid, very few number of Malpighian tubules. Like you know very well that red cotton bug, they are having only 4 Malpighian tubules. So very few Malpighian tubules they are having. Next, more or less concentrated group of ganglia on the ventral nerve cord. I've told you in orthopteroid there will be each and every segment containing some of the ganglia. That is called segmented ganglia on the ventral nerve cord. However, in hemipteroid group, it is having concentrated group of ganglia, means the segments will not be there that much. Okay. So what are the orders associated with hemipteroid group? There will be Socoptera, Malophaga, Siphunculata, Hemiptera and Thysonoptera. Okay. So let's come to the question again. What is the connecting link between orthopteroid and hemipteroid insect? You are having Socoptera. Already I have told Socoptera comes under hemipteroid group. Next, your Theraptera. Theraptera means nothing but Siphunculata and Malophaga. That means this again comes under hemipteroid group. And in these two groups, like orthopteroid and hemipteroid, there is no mention of Mecoptera. So we have omitted this one first. Okay. So the answer that is left with us, that is Zoroptera. So it is the connecting link between orthopteroid as well as hemipteroid group of insects. Okay, so this is the answer that I have also covered. Next question. An outer lining membrane and central pool of mitochondrial components in spermatids is known as, so it comes like a question is like sperm morphology. Okay, whatever the insect sperms are associated, so what are the morphology of that? So just in the next slide we'll discuss about the sperm morphology, though it's a little bit hard question. It's too much not needed for a JRF point of view, but still the question has come and we'll discuss. So the thing is, it is the structure of a sperm. Okay, it's an insect sperm if you can consider. Now the sperm having an acrosome, there is having a structure like nucleus they are having, and if you cut in a point, you will get this kind of cross sections. Like there will be axonemes, there will be accessory tubules, central tubule, outer cylinder, doublet, etc., etc. So it is very much deep into the sperm morphology. So what is that? Just I'm talking about this question. A globular structure in a spermatid that results from interlocking and fusion of the mitochondria during spermatogenesis. So things which are important in this mitochondria. Basically, it is a fusion of the mitochondria regarding the question which we are talking about. So it is basically the fusion of the mitochondria. Why this fusion of mitochondria is there? Because these mitochondria derivatives, these are originated from fused mitochondria as I mentioned, And immediately after meiosis, they form a electron dense structure next to the nucleus. So after nucleus, suppose if I consider this as nucleus, after nucleus there will be some dense mass of structures. So this is called as the a particular question that the examiners have asked. And why this kind of structures are formed? These are needed to supply axoneme with ATP for motility. ATP means they need energy for motility. You know very well that sperms are mobile, so that the best sperm can fertilize with the egg. So these structures, they will provide the axoneme with ATP or the energy, so that it gets mobile. Okay, so our answer will be Nebe Nebenkring. Okay, this will be the answer. So sometimes what happens, we used to think that it will be acrosome, but it is not acrosome. It is the Nebenkring. It's a little bit high quality question, so you can expect some of the questions will be high quality. So you need to. It's not imperative that you need to prepare for such kind of questions. But if you can prepare, then you have a greater chance of getting a good rank. Next, once again, column A and column B. So what is given? Column A given some insect families like Tettigonidae. Tettigonidae comes under Orthoptera. Next, Membrasidae. It comes under Hemiptera. Curculinidae. You know very well, this comes under Coleoptera. Last is Gelecidae. It comes under Lepidoptera. You know very well. So here, their important diagnostic characters are given in the column B. Okay, whether they are having trapezoidal forewings, rostrum, then pronotum is prominent, ovipositor length regarding that. So we'll see what are the different characters. I will preferentially start with Gelecidae. So you know very well that Gelechids means it is a Lepidoptera, and they are having trapezoidal forewings. So very well. So D with number 1. So find where D is number 1. D is number 1 only in this option. So your answer is already given, would be A. But we also study all the other options like Curculinidae. Curculinidae means you know very well it's a weevil, and they will be having a well developed rostrum that will form a snout. So find out where it is there. Pronounced rostrum with geniculate type of antenna. Another thing, that antenna type is geniculate. I have already told you to study the different types of antenna from insecta book. So there you will find the weevils are having geniculate antenna. You are having your answer too. Okay. Next, Membrasidae. Membrasidae means cow bug. Okay, and they are having a well developed pronotum. Pronotum is prominent and it is elevated wood like. Okay. So you got your answer. These three. And last one, that is Tettigonidae. Tettigonidae means only one option has been left. That is the ovipositor there longer than the body. So answer 4. Okay. So like that, in exam, maybe 1 or 2 options, if you know, you will definitely able to answer this type of questions. Okay, just for your reference, I have shown some of the images. This is a gelecid, very common gelecid, you know very well. That is tomato leaf miner. It's an invasive pest. Okay, it is known as Horimia obsulata. And see, this is the trapezoidal forewing, and they are also having another important character, that is the labial palp is in this direction. That is, we used to call it as up curved labial palp. Okay. Next, it is the cow bug or Membrasidae. You see how the pronotum has been developed like a hoop. Similarly, it is a weevil, and see how the rostrum has been developed into a snout, and see the antenna type that is called geniculate type of antenna. Okay, and the last one, that is Tettigonidae. In the female, they are having ovipositor. How big ovipositor? Much big. So this ovipositor length, it often it's just like a body length, or it may be more than that of the body length. Okay, so this is for your reference I have kept. Next, come to the next question. Again, it's a column A and column B type of questions. We'll see. Column A contains some of the biological organisms. What are those organisms? Telenomus remus, you know very well, it's a parasitoid. Then Gambusia affinis. Gambusia affinis, you know very well, it's a fish. Next, Buforana, it's a frog, that means toad. And Acridotheres tristis, you know very well, it is a bird. So you'll get the answer. Like here, they want to give different organisms, like one parasitoid they have given, one sorry, not one, it's 3 non-insect pests as well as non-insectant predators they have given. Okay, so you need to know about, at least you know the Telenomus remus, because it directly comes from the insect group. So Telenomus remus will be your parasitoid. A will be 4, so only one option is there, A will be 4. The answer will be option 1. And again, Gambusia affinites, it's a fish which is used to control mosquito. Next, Buforana, it is a toad, and Acridotheres tristis is a very common, that is your bird, that is your myna bird. This will be your answer. Next question. It's from toxicology. What is that? If the acute dermal median lethal dose is of an insect is 50 milligram per kg, the first and foremost thing that I want to tell, this question is itself wrong. Why? First of all, whether it is LD50, you cannot tell that unit it is mg per kg. It is not mg per kg. Like mg per kg, what should be written as mg per kg of body weight. Okay, so this is the wrong unit and this is the right unit. Okay, so if this kind of question comes like what is the unit of LD50, you should opt for mg per kg of body weight or microgram per gram of body weight. Okay. Now the thing is, if your LD50 your it is 50, what does it mean? LD50, the definition itself says that the dose which is required to kill 50% of the test organism. That means you'll find 50 test or insect can be killed with 50 milligram of toxin. In the definition, there is no mention that how many insects can be killed by applying this dose. So this option is wrong. Next, one test insect can be killed with 50 milligram of toxin. Again, I am telling, there is no mention of number of insects. Again, next, I'll jump to option number D. 50% of the test insect, that is correct, will be killed in 50 minutes by 50 milligram of toxin. But fact is, in LD50 definition, there is no mention of how many insects have been killed and it what time. There is no mention of time component. So this will also be wrong. So what is the option left? That is option number C. Your answer will be option number C only. How will you find? Like 50% of the test insect, which is correct, can be killed with 50 milligram of the toxin. So I have mentioned the amount of dose that is used to kill 50% of the test organism. That is known as LD50 value. Your answer will be option number. Next, a short mechanism that usually involves a short segment of DNA with remarkable capacity to move from one location in a chromosome to another location is called what? Basically, it's not from entomology, it's from probably molecular biology or genetics. But still, I want to keep this question. There are some reasons because day by day we are evolving different pest management tools, and using molecular biological tools in pest management, it's a very common thing, right? So this kind of things where a short segment of DNA which can move from one particular region of a genome to another particular region of a genome, that is considered as transposons. So this is answer will be your DNA transpose. Now the fact is, using these transposable components, we can do some pest management things. Like usually it is used in mosquito control. Okay, it is used in mosquito control in many countries, especially the Western countries, and there is a particular term which is called as P paradigm. Using this technology used in DNA transposon, they have um, they have been able to manage mosquito in some of the countries. So just you need to know what is transposon, that it is also related to your uh, general agriculture, and just see one or two reports whether any kind of transposons have been used to control the pests. I have given one example for vector control in public health management. Whether in agricultural field this kind of DNA transposon have been used to control or combat the pest, just you see some of the reports whether it is there or not. Okay. Just come to the next question. Nematology. Nematodes entered the stage of ether gas during which time? So you see in this question, just if you omit this option, quiescence, molting, and desiccation all are little bit related to each other. Quiescence means they will go in hibernating phase or such kind of things. Molting means from J1 to J2, from J3 to J4, like that. And desiccation means at anhydrobiotic conditions, they used to go in the desiccation phase. So this terminology, ether gas, means find this terminology, you'll find one term that is called lethargy. Lethargy means you are not able to do your particular work. So the nematodes will find lethargetic at a particular time. Now, if you find this term lethargetic, this can be applicable for quiescence also, this can be applicable for molting, this can be applicable for desiccation also. Why? Because in quiescence definition it is given already that it's a suspended state. Also in desiccation, like when they are having some anhydrobiotic condition, like say for the example Etilenchus, as anhydrobiotic conditions they used to go in Nemaul stage. At this phase they are also not doing anything, so this is also a lethargetic condition. Okay, so the thing is, lethargetic conditions can be applied anywhere of these three: quiescence, molting, and desiccation. But the terminology, it is so important in biology, that's why ether gas, this terminology has been typically used to consider the molting stage. Molting means when they will be go from J2 to J3, suppose uh, J2 to J3. So at the end stage of J2, there will be some they will be having some suspended movement, they will feed less, and obviously their movement will be reduced. That particular phase is considered as Aethergus. Okay, that is why it seems like it answer is all quiescence, all molting and then desiccation, but the correct answer will be molting. Okay, and that is why correct use of terminology in biological science is so important. So the Lethargus, it is typically related with the molting of the nematodes. Okay. Come to next one. Again a statement based question. What is that? We'll read. Statement 1 says volatinism. So volatinism means an insect of how many generations it will complete in a particular year. That is called volatinism. So what is the statement given? Volatinism in insects is the number of generations produced in a year. So basically the same thing I have told, like white grapes completed only 1 or 2 generations in a year, or your Scripophaga incertulus, rice yellow stem borer, it completes like 5 to 6 generations. The nematode Mylodogine incognita, it also completes like 4 to 5 generations. So how many generations have been completed in a year? That is called the volatinism. So your statement 1 is pretty well and correct. Second question. Morus alba is nothing but a mulberry plant. So it's a perennial tree in the northern India. Yes, it is absolutely correct. In North India, it is used as a perennial tree. So both statements are correct. So your option will be both statements. Pretty much correct. Okay. Next question. Tukra disease. It is an important disease in mulberry plant or mulberry tree. So it is caused by which insect? If I ask, the answer will be your mealybug. Okay. The first statement is given, it's caused by white fly. So it is pretty much wrong because it is caused by mealybug. Okay. Next statement 2, shellac. It is a resin secreted by the female lac insect on the host plant. Very important thing. 3 terms are there. One is your shellac. Second, secreted by female lac insect. Third, on the host plant. So first of all, I'm telling you a question. What is the most useful form of the lac? The most useful form of the lac is nothing but a shellac. Now the question will definitely come whether we use this shellac directly from the plant. Your answer will be very much no, because we use you take the lac from the plant and then it undergoes certain mechanism and then it forms the shellac. So the exact form of lac that we have taken from the plant, it is not shellac. Shellac is a purified form or processed form, better to say. So the thing is, it is a resin secreted by female lac insect on host plant. It is pretty much wrong because shellac is not directly secreted on the host plant. Shellac is the processed form of the lac. Okay, so it is also wrong. So the answer will be both statement 1 and statement 2 are incorrect. Okay, now third component I have given, it is not related to this question. Female lac insect. Like if people ask you like lac is secreted by male only, female only, both male and female, none of them. So lac insect obviously secretes, but what is the sex of the lac insect which secrete the lac? The fact is both male and female, both of them secretes the lac. But the fact is most of the secretion of lac comes from the female only. It does not necessarily mean the only female secretes lac. It is both male and female they secrete lac, but the production of lac where it is highest is in case of the female, because females are not mobile. It's a simple thing. So for this question, both statements are incorrect. Come to the question. Again, a very easy question. Formic acid is produced by, so there are 4 different options are given: white ant, cockroach, red ant, housefly. So housefly, you know very well, it comes under Diptera. Family is Muscidae. Cockroach comes under Latodia, or if you use the IMS classification, then it is Dictyoptera. And white ants will Isoptera. We use the IMS classification. Okay. Now the formic acid has been produced by this particular organism called red ant. Okay. So this red ant comes under family Formicidae. Is Hymenoptera. Okay. So this is a very easy question. So it is formic acid is produced by red ant. You know. Next question. Very very important questions, and I urge all the different types of PG aspirants as well as PhD aspirants go through these ISPM's guidelines. Like these are the guidelines provided by food and agricultural organizations regarding different quarantine regulations. Okay, these are called ISPMs, International Standards for Phytosanitary Measures, or ISP. So there are a total of like 47 standards, and each standards are of telling different things. Like some are telling pest free areas, some are telling about the quarantines, some are telling about classical biological control, and some of them are telling with fruit flies. Okay, so because you know the fruit flies are also, you know, they're invasive sometimes. So in which guideline these pest free areas for fruit flies have been mentioned? So in this case, the answer will be ISPM 26. I told you a total of 47 ISPM guidelines are there, and I request all of you may have already seen the last couple of years questions. So they used to ask this kind of questions like ISPM. So which are the ISPMs necessary regarding the entomological point of view that you should know and remember. So in this case, regarding fruit flies, it will be ISPM 26. Next, again a very good question, but sometimes we used to we don't know what's this kind of questions tell. Like parasitoid Allotropa phenacocca. So from this name phenacocca, you are getting that it is maybe associated with some millibug, because you know there is an insect called Phenacoccus solenopsis, or it is known as cotton millibug. Okay. So it is a cotton millibug. I've told you, Phenacoccus solenopsis. So whether it's a parasitoid or predator, it is a parasitoid. It is already given in the question. Now the fact is, the primary parasitoid or it's a secondary parasitoid, it's a tertiary parasitoid, or what it is. In this case, the option will be primary parasitoid. Primary parasitoid. Okay. So what you need to do in this kind of questions, you should have some list. What are the different parasitoids for different important insects? Like cotton millibug or Phenacoccus solenopsis is a very important insect. It is an invasive pest of cotton. Okay. So what are the different biocontrol agents to combat with this kind of pests? So for that, what is the best solution? Like books are will be always there, but maybe some of the parasitoids which are newly reported, how can you find this? There's simple thing. Go to CABI website. In CABI website, you will get all the necessary informations regarding parasitoids, regarding their predators, and what are their different host ranges. So I'll tell, go to CABI website and find out some important parasitoids and predators of important pests, like what are the different invasive pests which are reported last couple of years. You know very well that Thorimia absoluta or tomato leaf miner is an invasive pest reported very few years ago. Then Spodoptera frugiperda, that is fall armyworm, it is reported. Also nowadays some walnut pest have been reported, probably from NBIR. So these are the important pests, and what are their biocontrol agents? Is there any biocontrol agents available for them? Just see in the CABI website and you will get. Next question. The phenomena of offspring nematodes developing under fertilized eggs, developing from unfertilized eggs. Okay. Developing from unfertilized eggs happens in, so forget about nematodes, forget about uh, any other thing. Just that offspring have been developed from unfertilized eggs. Means there is no association of male organism. That may be from nematode, that may be for insects. Only thing is there is no fertilization happening till offsprings are developed. So what is the thing? What is the phenomena? The phenomena is very well known as parthenogenesis. Okay. What about amphimixis? Amphimixis is nothing but the normal reproduction. Like one male will be there, one female will be there, they will copulate and produce offspring. That is amphimixis. What about hermaphrodites? Hermaphrodites means in a same organism there will be a male gonad as well as female gonad, called hermaphrodites, and both are equally functional. Okay. Last, what is Endotokia matricida? It's a very difficult term. Seems it is very difficult term, but it is not that much difficult. Endotokia matricida means endo. Endo means inside. Matri means comes from mother. Sida means to kill. Okay, that means something inside is killing the mother. Okay, what happens in different group of organisms, specifically some of the nematodes? What happens? The offsprings will take the nutrition from the mother's womb, and after taking nutritions they become so big that the female body or the mother's body has to be ruptured in order to in order to their offsprings, so that they can come out. Like if it's a nematode, there are offsprings are there, so they will take nutrition from the mother's womb, and after taking nutrition at a certain time they may become this much, because the nematodes have become long. So at this point of view, because of the osmotic change of the osmotic pressure, they will put some pressure on their mother, and due to this high pressure, maybe mother is totally ruptured, and this is called the endotokia matricida. So mother is died in order to take out the offsprings. Okay, this is called endotokia matricida, and it's very common in nematodes, especially in some nematodes like rhabdiid nematodes. It is very common, and some other nematodes. Not related to our question. In our question, the answer will be very pertinent. Next question, very important question. There is column A and there is column B. Pyriproxyfen, chlorantraniliprole, indoxacar, propulsor. These are all insecticides. Next, column B, it is given their mode of action. Before discussing this question, I just want to tell one thing. Please follow this IRAC mode of classification of different insecticide mode of actions. Like there will be different groups, and whatever their associations are there, or like whatever their mode of actions are there, you just go through from that website. No other classifications are needed to be read for the exams and for any of the competitive exams. Only IARSC, that is insecticide Resistance Action Committee. Their classifications should have to read. And you'll expect at least one question definitely will come in PG exam as well as PhD exam. Okay. So what are the four insecticides? Pyriproxyfen. Pyriproxyfen is nothing but a juvenile hormone analog. So you'll find the answer, it is juvenile. Chlorantraniliprole, you know very well, it's a muscle poison. And what is the receptor associated with the muscle? That is the ryanodine receptor. So it will be your ryanodine receptor modulator. And in ryanodine receptor or the associated with muscles, what is the ion channel is there? It is the calcium channel. So you'll get your calcium channel. So you'll find B is 4. Only one option is given. B is 4. So your answer, you have got very much well. That is B is 4. And A is also 3, that I have already told. Next, two other insecticides are there. One is indoxacarb. Indoxacarb, it is attacking on the sodium channel. What is the sodium channel? Sodium channel. The sodium channel. Last one, propoxur, means it is a organophosphate. So propoxur is attacking on acetylcholine esterase. Okay. So by that way you can easily find the answer, like one or two if you know you can answer. Now the important thing where the students used to lack, the lacking point is nothing but whether, I've told you very well that indoxacarb, it is attacking on sodium channel. Now the same question will come, suppose in absence, suppose chlorantraniliprole is not there in the option, suppose some other insecticide, say some pyrethroid are given. So this pyrethroid, they also attacking on the sodium channel, correct? So you forget about this. Here also it is written sodium channel, right? Now the question is, it is written sodium channel blocker. I have given our sodium channel activator. Majority of the students miss this. Why they used to know this is attacking on sodium channel, this is attacking on acetylcholinesterase, this is attacking on acetylcholine receptor. They forget about the channels, like whether they are literally blocking that channel or blocking that receptor, or they are mimicking this channel, mimicking those receptor. Whenever they are actually activating those channel, these things really missed by the students, especially those students who are preparing for PG entrance. I'll tell you, just read the last one, like you read sodium channel, calcium channel, many things, but you forget to read whether it's a blocker, whether it's a blocker or whether it is activator. Or blocker means antagonist, whether it is an antagonist or whether it is an agonist, you forget. So just read those things, whether it's an agonist, whether it is an antagonist. So for that, IRSC classification is there. Just go to their website and see how many groups are there and what are the different classification of mode of action. Okay. Next, another statement type of questions. Butterflies. So butterflies from, if you see the butterflies means some of the families are there, like Nymphalidae, like your Glycinidae, Pieridae, Papilionidae, some this kind of butterfly families are there. So the butterflies with erratic darting, the flying type, belong to a family that is called Hesperidae. So the Hesperidae means it is keeper. It's also a type of butterfly, you can tell. Second statement, larvae of the family Hesperidae is with tapering at both ends, means it is tapering at both ends without dorsal setae. Okay, so these are just two statements. First statement is very easy because it's directly given from your Insecta book. They are having a erratic darting flight. Hesperidae is the correct option. So your first statement is obviously correct. So you can omit this option. You can omit. So it may be either option A or option C. The fact is regarding the character of the Hesperidae in terms of larvae. So given as a general rule, the larvae are moderately stout and taper towards both extremities. So larvae of Hesperidae with tapering at both ends or both extremities. It is up to that it is correct. Next, secondary setae are smaller or absent dorsally. So dorsal setae is absent or it may be small. So it is without dorsal setae means this portion is also correct. Okay. So statement 1 is correct, we know, and statement 2 also is correct. So we can omit third option. The correct option will be both statement 1 and 2 are equally correct. For your information also, I have kept what are the important characters of superfamily Hesperoidea and also the family Hesperidae I have given over here. You just see once. Next. Statement again a statement type of question. Statement 1 and statement 2. Pale yellow mosaic virus is transmitted by Apis license. Much correct answer. Now, chili mosaic virus is transmitted by Apis craxivora. In this statement, there is a problem. Why I am telling? Chili mosaic virus is transmitted by aphids only. That is correct. But the which aphid species? That is a question. Generally, chili mosaic virus have been transmitted by Apis paucipi and Apis. What is the another species? Not Apis. Is Myjus persicae. Generally, in the books, these two species have been written, but later on, reports or research papers also shown that chili mosaic virus can also be transmitted by Apis craxivora. Okay, but there are very few reports regarding the transmission of Apis. This creates a potential confusion which option should we take or which option we should go for. So it's better to go for the correct option only. And in this question, I would have gone for both option, like both statement 1 and both correct. Okay, like some of you may go for statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is wrong. That is very much okay from your side, but still some researchers has confirmed that there is an association of Apis craxivora also. So this kind of confusing questions may come in exam. So it is all about the examiner and what about the question, what about the answer key they are providing. Next come very easy question. Uzi flies a serious space stuff. Next question. So this type of questions are also coming nowadays very much rapid way. Needle nematodes. Needle nematodes means is belonging to the genera or a genus Longidorus. Okay. So which this Longidorus nematode, they are transmitting which viruses? So 4 options are given, and based on that 4 option you need to choose. The fact is, you know very well that two types of virus generally nematodes transmit. One is Nepo virus, another one is Na2 virus. Na2 virus is transmitted generally by Trichodorus and Paratrichodorus, and Nepo virus transmitted generally by Ziphinema and Longidorus. Okay, so forget about this Na2 virus for a moment. We'll consider only the Nepo virus. So, Nepo virus transmitted by Ziphinema and Longidorus, Ziphinema is called as dagger nematode, and Zongidorus is called as needle nematode. So you need to forget which are the virus that are transmitted by Ziphinema. So you know very well that Arabis mosaic virus is transmitted by Ziphinema, Crumgas mosaic virus is transmitted by Ziphinema. So you literally omit these. So what are the options left? A and B. Go for A and B. This today up to this, and we'll also continue our PYQ session in the next videos. So for that, up to this, we'll share another Google link, Google form link in your description. So you just fill the Google form and you will get the detailed descriptions whatever given. Okay, you'll get in your WhatsApp. Yet, not to forget what regarding our PYQ discussion, how is the discussions going on? So just give your some honest reviews, and we'll try to improve according to that. Thank you.